Hi, my name is Xander, and we are back once again. So, I'm going to be talking about why I think the returnees can't win Australian Survivor Redemption statistically. So, to start off with, before anyone watches this, if you have not seen the first 6 episodes of Australian Survivor Redemption, go and watch those first, and then come back here because we will be going heavy spoilers. We will give you guys maybe like 20 seconds, and then I will start ranting about why I think realistically the returnees can't win Australian Survivor Redemption. Okay, I think I've given you guys enough time. I'm gonna begin. So obviously we're live, so if I say something stupid or I have a live transition like that one where I'm like mentally processing what I'm gonna say, it's because I don't have a script. So this is super unfiltered. I'm just going to be ranting to the camera essentially and just expressing my thoughts and my views on why I think the Rockettes can't win Australian Survivor Redemption. So I'm assuming we are all up to date. It's been 6 episodes in. We all know what's happening. Let's talk about it. Now, I do want to address that obviously the returnees have always had a numbers disadvantage, right? Going into it, there were four of them, and there were 20 newbies. So, of course, realistically, the odds weren't already in their favors, but the odds are definitely a lot worse now since one of the newer episodes have came out because so here's the thing. Obviously, from a returnee perspective, the four returnees are Brooke, Harry, Simon, and Mark. Obviously, these are all returnees who have been known to find immunity idols. I don't know if you guys know that, but it's literally a thing all of them have done. I think the reason why production invited them back was because they wanted to make sure they had the best chance of redeeming themselves, what if you want to call it that. Obviously, we know there's a bunch of movies here. What does that even mean? Obviously, you have the casting decisions on this season. Just like every season, you're like, does this person fit this thing? Probably not. But we're just gonna go with it because we have literally nothing else to base it on. I also want to continue just to say that realistically, okay, now here's the juice part, right? Harry has been voted out. Obviously, Harry was someone who I wasn't super enthusiastic to see just because I'm one of those people who has the philosophy of like, once you've played Survivor 2 times, what are you really going to bring on a third time? Unless it's like a legend season, then I want to see you back. But outside of that, like obviously, I like Harry. I like him as a character. I like watching him play. But it did kind of feel like, oh, we're kind of setting him up for failure here. And to be fair, I feel that way about all four attorneys. And no matter who came back, no matter how much they were my favorites, I would have felt that way regardless, right? So it's not Harry specifically that's like, oh no, da 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 da, whatever. It's more just the concept of like, oh, okay, they're attorneys. It's they've some of three of these guys' third time outside of markets is second time, and it's weird. It really is. So the thing is, like, obviously Harry has been voted out. Look, obviously at some point one of the returnees was going to get voted out. The fact that they lasted even 6 episodes was pretty amazing to me because, like, really, the newbies didn't vote one of the returnees out? Okay, well, I guess it wasn't 6 episodes. It was 5 episodes. But, yeah, the fact that none of the four returnees were any of the first four moots is fucking crazy to me. Like, obviously, we can talk about positioning another fucking time, and we can talk about if it wasn't their best interest as newbies or attorneys and who was with who and whatever. But just from like a general perspective, you think about it and you're like, they didn't vote a single returnee out? What the fuck? And yeah, obviously there's the debate of like, oh, you can keep them in the shields, or they can provide stuff for you, or they can show you stuff. They can teach you how to play the game. Obviously, for me, I'm a super fan. Obviously, there are things I'm not gonna know about Survivor until you're actually out there playing the game. But I would say that I have a decent amount of knowledge about what to expect going out there, just based on the players I've spoken to who have been past the MI, who have gone on the show, and current castaways on the season. And also because, I mean, you just imagine yourself on an island, no? Or a beach, or a tropical island, or a fucking, I don't know, wherever you want, wherever you want to imagine yourself. That's what you're thinking about. Another thing is like, obviously, Harry being voted off isn't like, obviously, realistically, with the four attorneys, they already had really, really bad odds where like they were gonna have to get to a very far point into the game for none of them to even get like to merge, right? Realistically, just to get to merge would have been a fucking hassle for all four attorneys, especially because a lot of these newbies are very eager to prove themselves. Which, to be fair, there is talk about the new era of Australian Survivor. So now that David is the new host, where is it gonna go? Obviously, I have no idea where it's gonna go. I'm just like you guys. I'm a fan. I'm watching it. I hope to be a player one day, but I have no idea what's gonna happen. So I'm trying. We have a fly in my room live on this video. You know what? That's great. Actually, I really am in Samoa right now. Do you hear that fly? That was crazy. I guess it's practice for the real show. I'm not really sure. I did hear they were talking about filming in Malaysia. This, I want to say year, but this upcoming season. So that, I mean, it is this year as well. So it's gonna be interesting. If that's true, and that would also be really fucking cool. But anyways, that's besides the point. So back to the actual topic that we were discussing: the returnees on Australian Survivor Redemption statistically, whether they stand, blah, 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 whatever. Here's the thing. Obviously, 20 versus 4 is fucking horrible odds. Then you have to think about the second half of the game, or at least once you get to jury, start thinking about who's going to vote for me to win. Obviously, the main thing to talk about is like, if you're a newbie, are you gonna really want to sit next to a returnee in the end? No, of course you're not gonna, because you're always gonna feel like the returnee's gonna get credit over you, even if they play a worse game. And of course, that isn't how it should be, but that's just the perception of it. If you're a returnee, people are gonna be like, "Oh, he's a returnee, or she's a returnee. She fucking survived. He fucking survived. That's impressive, despite being a returnee." They have like this extra credit, even though they probably shouldn't be given this extra credit. And it's one of the reasons why I have such a problem with newbies and returnees on the same fucking cast. And also the screen time imbalance and just other things. But that's besides the point. So Harry's gone. Cool. No, actually, let's start with the start. The four newbies. Daniel. Who the fuck was second boot? Kat, Eliza, fourth boot, Polya. Obviously, four newbies. Crazy that they were all taken out, but you know what? That's besides the point. um, so they're voted out, whatever, and now Harry gets voted off in the fifth episode. Now we are down to 19 castaways. 19. 19 people. How the fuck are Simon, Brooke, and Mark supposed to get to the end This is a final two season. Let me make that clear to you guys. It is a final two season. How the fuck are they going to get to the end of this game? One, like, as a three, like, obviously they need each other. They're gonna be trying to work with each other. But literally how? Like, I literally, like, if I'm any of the returnees, like, you got Simon over here smiling because he's like, "Oh, I have second life into this game." Like, "Oh, gone, but my game isn't over." And I'm here like, "Simon, your game is over. Your game is over." Especially because, Simon, the second half of the season is for you and Brooke and Mark specifically, is going to be having to win those crucial immunity challenges, because otherwise you're going to go home unless you have a fucking idol, which you don't. At least at this point in the game. And obviously 19 people, and you got 3. So you got to survive 16 eliminations plus 17 because one of their other returnees, assuming you sit next to a returnee at the final two. But because you're a returnee, you're probably thinking, why the fuck would I bring a returnee to the end? So then you're thinking, okay, then we're gonna take a newbie to the end, and in that case, you're cutting fucking another person, right? It's another round of you, like, well, it's not another round, but it's switching it out where it's like your end game is harder, essentially, because it's like if that newbie fucking wins, if I'm a newbie in the final three and I win final immunity and there is a newbie sitting next to me and you have Simon, Brooke, or Mark on the other side, who are you cutting? Like, obviously, your instant reaction will be to go at the returnees because you don't want to sit next to them because you're going to be like, oh, they're going to get credit over me because they're a returnee. Even though, as we've already established, I think that's really shit. The reality is, Survivor isn't fair. Life isn't fair. The way that this was designed is for the returnees to do well. Keeley Production wants the returnees to get redemption. That is why these people are back. And especially for someone like Simon, you know production wants him to do well. And that's perfectly fine. But if we're looking at the facts, Simon's smiling about how he is second life in this game when Carrie goes home. I'm like, dude, who are your allies? But that's besides the point. That literally doesn't matter. Ignoring my perspective on the game, let's look at the facts. The facts are you gotta survive 16, 17 eliminations. 17 eliminations, essentially, right? And because there are 19 people left at that point in the game. Obviously, now we're down more people, but the reality is, like, okay, 6 people have been voted off. You're down to 18. You are 3 returnees. Like, what is your end game, Simon? Because the reality is you're gonna have to need to win, like, at least 8 individual immunities, if not more, just to get to the final 2. Because no one's gonna fucking want to bring you there. And it's the same problem for Brooke. For Mark, I think he has a little bit more leg work. He has a little bit more, what do you want to call it? Like, he has more upside there, but obviously currently he's Eddie, and the fact that his closest allies at the moment seem to want him out, it's like, well, outside Brooke, but like, it's not looking good for Marky, let me tell ya. And obviously Harry's going whatever, and then you got Brooke. Obviously, out of the 3 returnees, I think Brooke's the most likely to do well, but she's still gonna have to win individual immunities back to back to back to back to back, just like Simon, because she's a physical challenge base and she's a returnee and no one's gonna want to sit next to her. If you do the math, the returnees needed to get to Final 7 for any of them to win the game. Statistically, unless they're going to go to rocks for each other, and I say them, I mean Mark, Brooke, and Simon, because now, let's say Simon gets voted out. No, okay, fuck it. Let's say Brooke, Brooke, Mark, and Simon get to Final 7. Yeah? Unless they have an idol, which, well, they probably fucking not, or some, like, random skill vote, block vote, extra vote, some advantage which they can't prepare for. How the fuck? Someone explain to me how the fuck they're going to get past that final 7 vote when there's 3 returnees and 4 newbies. How the fuck are the 4 newbies not going to look at them and go, yeah, we're just going to take you out one by one by one? Like, I don't understand. I don't understand this thing of, like, a lot of people online talking about how the returnees have, like, potential to do well now. And I'm like, guys, the returnees are screwed. Like, it doesn't matter which returnee at this point, none of them are gonna win because statistically they just don't have their end all 3 of their end games is to win like 8 individual immunity challenges in a row. Obviously Marks is gonna be yes than that. And Brooks might be yes than that. But for Simon it's like not looking good. For Brookington, you're going to need to win at least like 6 in a row, if not more. And for Mark, it's like you might be able to squeeze your way into like a final 6, but you're still going to have to win like 3 fucking immunities at least, if not more. And when you look at it like that, you're just like, so all of your endgame plans is to win immunity back to back to back? What kind of fucking endgame is that? And of course, regardless on if Harry was being voted off earlier or not in the season, had the 4 of them not gone into Final 7, they were gonna all be in this position regardless. So I don't want anyone to think that I haven't been aware that Harry going home literally doesn't change that fact, because the reality is they were already going to be at a fucking disadvantage going into it from that perspective anyways. But now it's like more guaranteed that they're fucked. Like before they had the slightest bit of hope, but now it's like, yeah, your end game is to win your 10 immunity challenges. Good luck, like I don't. So when I see someone like Simon in confessional smiling about how he has new life in this game, I'm like, you've already lost the season. Like, I hope I'm wrong. I hope some miracle you or Brooke or Mark can fucking pull it out just to prove me wrong. But like, statistically, you guys are so screwed. You guys are literally so screwed. And as a super fan, obviously, I have to sit here and just be like, oh, okay, well, and obviously, I do think prediction wise, I do think none of the returnees are going to get to the end or win this season, but it doesn't even matter what I think because the reality is math doesn't lie, and it's one of those things where like I do think, on one hand, the returnees did have an advantage going into this game, as people have been kind of like intimidated by them and wanting to work with them. But at the same time, I do feel that like I mean, to be honest, Endemol, Shine Australian casting and Temp and all of you guys, like I do think you guys did make a mistake because I do feel that all 4 of these returnees, and it doesn't matter even who you had picked, I do feel like all 4 of these returnees were like structurally screwed just from the very beginning, especially after Heroes vs. Villains, where they're trying to survive the Heroes vs. Villains, to clarify. Um, Cast where literally all the returnees dominated, and of course you cast a bunch of fans on this season, which I'm all for, but if you're gonna cast fans, like, do not fucking put returnees on there. They're gonna want the returnees out. And even a bunch of the earlier boots were like, yeah, we clocked the returnees as working together, or my PM was to cut them after the first week of the game. It's like, Like, literally, what the fuck are they supposed to do? like, I'm laughing about it because, I obviously the season's done, it's already filmed, whatever. But it is just kind of funny, but it's like dark humor. It's like, oh, okay, they all are going to use the game, and statistically they're all fucked. But on the show, they still have a chance of winning. Yay! It's like I obviously know it's a TV show, and that's what they have to do. But it is a bit triggering for me because I'm the survivor simp, whatever, and I want I guess I was hoping for other things, a different outcome, I guess. Um, but if I had to guess my predictions right now, I would say that Brooke gets ninth place. I would guess that Mark is one of the next two or three boots. And or even the next boot, even. And I would guess that not Mark. Simon is probably the last person cut before jury, or one of the. He's yeah. I would say he's either cut before jury, or he's the last pre-merger before they merge. Obviously, we don't know when the merge is going to be. It's normally 13, 14, 12. Doesn't really matter. But yeah, those are my predictions. Obviously, I can be wrong. If Urteni does win this season, this will be really funny to watch back in hindsight and see how passionate I was and to hear my perspective on it. But that's why structurally I think the Rotaties are screwed. I think they had a little bit of hope, the smallest bit of hope though. It would have been super fucking hard to get all four Rotaties to the final seven anyways. But now I do feel that all of them are just sitting ducks essentially. And it's not because they can't win immunities, it's that nobody can win 8 immunity challenges in a row. It just isn't a thing. like it's not a thing, dude. There's a reason why it doesn't happen. But thank you all for watching. If you guys have anything you guys want me to talk about going into the future, comment down below and request it. Till next time, the Survivor Simp is